When we think of the old Hollywood actors, it's the lights, the glitz, and the glamour that comes to mind. The blonde bombshells and handsome leading men living an extravagant, amazing life of wealth and celebrity was the pinnacle of old Hollywood. But that's not really the truth of Hollywood, but rather a well-choreographed illusion. In those days, it was the major studios that ruled the town. They had control of every part of their stars' lives. This included what they wore and even to whom they married. But there's more to this sinister story. Join us as we take a look at some of the most outrageous abuses of old Hollywood's studio system and the actors who were victims of such mistreatment. Lana Turner had an abortion without anesthesia. At the age of 17, Lana Turner entered the film business. Her performance as Cynthia in the 1938 movie Love Finds Andy Hardy captured the hearts of America. The bombshell quickly became known as the Sweater Girl for how well her curvaceous figure filled out a sweater. But Turner's personal life managed to outweigh any drama on screen, as the actress went through 8 marriages. In 1941, while on a publicity tour in Hawaii, a Hollywood fixer made arrangements for Turner to have an abortion. The procedure reportedly took place in the actress's hotel room without anesthesia. Turner's mother was apparently responsible for covering the mouth of her daughter to muffle her cries. The abortion cost $500, and the expense was deducted from Turner's paycheck. Rock Hudson was forced to hide his homosexuality by getting married. Rock Hudson was undeniably a Hollywood hunk and sex symbol. Due to this, a studio forced him to marry Phyllis Gates in 1955. This was all to hide the fact that the Hollywood star was gay. While insiders knew this, it was kept a secret to preserve Hudson's leading man status. It's a sad fact to admit, but in those times, Hudson's career as a dreamy, romantic lead would be ruined if news got out about his sexuality. The marriage lasted a mere 3 years. Hudson was one of the first major celebrities to die from AIDS in 1985, and he came out publicly before his death. A movie studio forced Judy Garland to have 2 abortions and take dangerous drugs. When a movie studio forces an actress to have an abortion, it's a shameful demand. But in the case of Judy Garland, it was also her mother who was involved. In 1939, Garland, at only 17 years old, took the world by storm. She shot to stardom with her portrayal of Dorothy in the classic The Wizard of Oz. A couple of years later, Garland married bandleader David Rose. This did not go down well with MGM, as she didn't ask for their consent. They wanted their star to remain young in the eyes of moviegoers, but this wouldn't be the case as long as she was acting like an adult. She became pregnant, and her mother worked with the studio to make arrangements for her daughter's abortion. Garland once again became pregnant and was forced to have an abortion for the second time. The abortions, however, were not the only atrocious commands placed on the actress. By the time she finished filming The Wizard of Oz, she was already addicted to barbiturates and amphetamines. MGM's disgraceful behavior included the studio reportedly running all their child stars into the ground. The stars were forced to shoot film after film without a break. The teenage stars were given pep pills in order to keep them spunky and awake. When they couldn't sleep, they were given barbiturates and sleeping pills. Garland was forced into this dangerous upper-downer cycle of pills. Additionally, the studio not only put the actress on an unsafe diet for her to lose her so-called chubbiness, but they also made her take dangerous drugs to lose weight. Garland died in 1969 at age 47 from an overdose of barbiturates. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like, and subscribe to Facts Verse if you haven't already. MGM's penalty clauses led to Ava Gardner having an abortion. From 1951 to 57, Ava Gardner was married to Frank Sinatra. He was her third husband. During their marriage, Gardner was forced to have the abortion because of MGM's penalty clauses against their star actresses having babies. Sinatra reportedly did not know about the procedure. Gardner explained the situation that if she had a baby, her salary would be cut off. She claimed Sinatra was broke at the time, and her future movies were going to take her all over the world. MGM arranged everything, including the travel. It was all kept very hush-hush. Jean Harlow was forbidden from getting married. Known for being one of the original blonde bombshells, Jean Harlow signed a morality clause with MGM that forbade her to marry actor William Powell. Their reasoning was that a woman is much sexier to the common man if she remains single. Loretta Young hid her pregnancy and adopted her own daughter. Loretta Young, a child star who became an Academy Award-winning actress, was one of the few Hollywood stars who refused to have an abortion. While filming Call of the Wild in 1935, she fell in love with star Clark Gable. Young claimed Gable pressured her and she eventually slipped, but only once. That one slip led to Young getting pregnant, but Gable was a married man. Young covered up the pregnancy by claiming to have a mysterious illness. She then had the baby in secret and staged an adoption. Now that's how you play the system. Louis B. Mayer purposefully ruined John Gilbert's career. Co-founder of MGM, Louis B. Mayer had a great eye for talent. He was a huge part of making MGM one of the biggest movie studios of old Hollywood. During silent cinema's transition to sound, he decided to dump actor John Gilbert. He believed Gilbert was too expensive and the two often clashed. So what did Louis do to make sure Gilbert did not make the transition to talkies? He planted stories in fan magazines claiming the actor's high-pitched voice was causing distress on the movie lot. He even went as far as to cast Gilbert in several films he knew were complete bombs. With bad press followed by poor reviews, Gilbert walked away from MGM in 1933. He is now considered one of the most popular actors to never make the transition from silent cinema to talkies. Dorothy Dandridge was forced by the studio to have an abortion. Labeled by many as the Black Marilyn Monroe, the beautiful Dorothy Dandridge became a star in the 1954 movie Carmen Jones. Dandridge became close with Otto Preminger, the director of the film, and their relationship became sexual. This resulted in Dandridge becoming pregnant, but Preminger refused to leave his wife. The studio demanded Dandridge get an abortion, as they wanted her to remain a sex symbol. On top of this was the controversy that she was mixed race and Preminger was white. Miscegenation laws in 1955 were still in existence in several states. This made it illegal for mixed-race couples to marry. Clara Beau had a nervous breakdown, so Paramount fired her. Clara Beau was silent cinema's hottest sex symbol. She was at the forefront of public gossip with tales of her wild sexual adventures, including a threesome with Mexican prostitutes, a slew of engagements, and the rumor that she slept with the whole starting lineup of the 1927 USC Trojan football team. With such wild escapades under her belt, Beau was a tireless worker. From 1922 to 33, she made 58 films. But in typical Hollywood fashion, they were not keen on the bad reputation that Beau created. After suffering a nervous breakdown, Paramount seized the opportunity and fired her. She made her final film at age 28. After this, Beau married and had 2 children. But a long family history of mental illness, including her mother trying to slit Beau's throat one time, finally caught up with her. In 1944, she attempted suicide, which led to her in a psychiatric hospital. Bette Davis had an abortion for the biggest role of her career. Veteran actress Bette Davis came to terms with the deal and knew that if she had the child she was pregnant with in 1934, her career would be permanently damaged. She admitted she would have missed the biggest role in her life if she didn't have an abortion. Looking back, it seems she was right. She landed the part of Mildred in the 1934 movie Of Human Bondage and was rewarded with her first of 11 Academy Award nominations. The following year, she won the Oscar for her role in Dangerous, and again in 1939 for Jezebel. Now it's time to hear from you. Which of these stories was most shocking to you? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.